Here they want us to, this is number 9. They want us to construct a line parallel to the line through point P. You need to make a transversal through P and construct corresponding angles. Well, they are absolutely right. Let's make a transversal, which means a line going through point P and through this line. And it doesn't really matter how you make it, but it needs to go through P and through this line. So a nice line. There you go. Okay, now that I have made a line, I'm also going to take some distance, and it's going to have to be the same, and I'm going to come this. What I'm going to do, kiddos, is I know that if I can find this angle and recreate this angle up here, then it will mean that the corresponding angles are congruent. Therefore, these lines would have to be parallel. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to recreate this angle measure with a vertex at P. So step 1 will be simply to make an arc to establish a distance. So here I'm going to make an arc from this vertex, and now I make that same arc from point P. There you go. Now then, this tells me how far out I'm measuring my angle. Now I'm going to measure my angle right at that distance from the vertex. So I measure it. You need to measure pretty careful here. I think that looks pretty good. So I measured this angle, and that's, well, a little bit off. There we go. So now then I'm going to come up here, and since I don't have anything to measure from here, I have to go the other way. And I'm going to put this right here, and then that tells me right there. You see that point? Then if I connect this point to this point, the line between those 2 points should be parallel to this one. Let's hope I did a good job. Let's hope I measured carefully. You should have a sharp pencil to do all this too, because that makes a difference. So, since this angle is congruent to that angle, it means that this line is parallel to that line. And so what we say here, we say that when corresponding angles are congruent, then the lines are parallel. And that's what we did. There you go. That's number 9. Okay, kids, this is number 10. And this is perpendicular bisectors. And this is so easy. We know how to do this. This is a piece of cake. What we have to do is we have to set our compass for a distance that's more than half. Well, it doesn't matter exactly how much more than half, but more than half. And we're going to make an arc above, and one below. Then, with this same setting, we come from the other side. We put the point on this end, and we do the same thing. An arc above and an arc below. Now then, what we realize is that if we connect this point to this point, they will form a segment that is perpendicular, and it's also a bisector of this segment. And you must mark it that way. You must mark it perpendicular, and you must mark it that it's a bisector. And we need to be able to see all of these arcs. And that's number 10. Okay, this is number 11, which says use what you know to construct a 45-degree angle below. Well, up above, we just constructed a 90-degree angle, didn't we? We constructed a perpendicular. If we constructed a perpendicular and then bisected it, it would be a 45. So that's what we're going to do. Step 1 here is to draw a segment of some length. It doesn't really matter what length it is, but there's my segment. Now then, I've got to do a perpendicular bisector. So, to do a perpendicular bisector, I want this to be a little more than half, so that's fine. There's no magic on that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do an arc above, an arc below. Then I'm going to take that same setting and I'm going to go to the other side. And I'm going to do an arc above and an arc below. Now then, I'm going to connect these 2 points. And what I have now, we know, is a right angle. So this is 90, therefore that's 90, that's 90, that's 90. Now this is the angle I'm going to bisect. I always like that angle. I don't know. So now to bisect an angle, we did this, I think it was on number 6, but I may be wrong, but we just got through bisecting an angle. So you pick any setting, it doesn't really matter what setting, you're just establishing a distance, measuring off a distance on each ray of this angle. So I'm making an arc that spans both rays. Then you can leave it there if you want to, as long as you're more than halfway across the angle and you do an arc from, whoops, oh, Ms. Mine's going to take off points on that one. Dang. Oh, I broke my lead, kids. I hate it when it happens. Okay, hang on. Let me see. This one's real short too, but let's see if we can do this. This lead broke too. Okay, so let's see if we can do this. Dang it. Okay, hold on. Okay, so let's try that again. So now I'm going to take an arc, and I'm going to do an arc from this side. And then at that same setting, I'm coming from the other side. Now then, what I know, see what I did is I just came from here, and then I went to this side, and with the same setting I went there. That establishes this point where those 2 arcs intersect. If I connect that point to the vertex, I have just bisected this angle, which was a 90-degree angle. Now I know that this is 45 degrees and this is 45 degrees, and you need to mark it as such.